Okay, so I want to tell a story today, and that story is about how one of my aunts in my family do not.
It looks like people have finally pieced together who Ashley Braxton was talking about when she shared that her aunt's partner made inappropriate advances toward her when she was just 16. Instead of supporting her aunt blamed her for it. Honestly, considering the Braxton family's history, this revelation isn't all that surprising, but what's really stirring up conversations is Ashley admitting that she also acted inappropriately toward her sister, which led to a heartbreaking tragedy, her sister's death. The loss of her sister hit Ashley hard. Her sister was the only person who had been through the same kind of trauma, and losing her meant losing that deep connection. When Ashley opened up about this, some people questioned if her story was even real, but for her, it was all too real. Without her sister, she felt completely alone in her pain. Ashley also talked about how her childhood experiences shaped her actions. Being abused as a child left scars that showed up in ways she didn't fully understand back then. She admitted feeling overwhelming guilt for what happened with her sister, recognizing how her unresolved trauma contributed to the tragedy. She carries the heavy burden of believing her actions played a role in her sister's death. Ashley's story is raw and deeply emotional, shining a light on how abuse can have long-lasting and devastating effects. It's a painful reminder of the complex cycles of trauma and the importance of healing. Let's get right into this family drama and try to figure out which Aunt Ashley Braxton was talking about. If you're not familiar, Ashley's story is seriously heartbreaking. She shared before that her mom abandoned her and her sister, leaving them in a tough situation with a stepmom who, according to Ashley, was awful. She says the stepmom mistreated them and even used racial slurs. Things got even worse after her sister passed away from an overdose. Ashley emailed her biological mom, but her mom never showed up. Ouch. Now, Ashley recently posted a two-part video on TikTok opening up about something that happened with one of her aunts. She made it clear that she wasn't trying to hurt anyone, and she didn't name which aunt it was, whether it's Tracy, Trina, Tamar, Toni, or Tawanda. Ashley explained that she's been working through this in therapy for a long time. She said it's something that cuts deep, affecting her self-worth and how she feels about herself. It's been a long, painful journey, and she's still processing it. Ashley recently opened up about a moment in her life where she knew she had to face her past and talk about it. She shared her story to bring attention to others who have been through similar experiences, especially those who were underage when something inappropriate happened. Ashley hopes that by sharing, she can help others feel seen and understood. She also mentioned that she has to be careful with what she says because the Braxton family is powerful, and like many influential people, they'll do whatever it takes to protect their reputation. Ashley explained that her stepmother and father, Michael Braxton Jr., discovered inappropriate text messages between her and her aunt's partner. When they told her aunt, at first she was loving and seemed upset about what happened. But over time, her aunt's attitude shifted and Ashley felt like she stopped being supportive. As Ashley got older, she realized how strange it was that her aunt stayed with her partner despite what had happened. Things got even worse when Ashley revealed that her aunt eventually started blaming her for what happened, suggesting that Ashley had somehow caused it or was part of the problem. This was a huge blow, but through therapy, Ashley learned how to deal with it and realized that she should never have been blamed. She was just a kid put in a situation she didn't ask for. Ashley also talked about how she's connected with friends who've gone through similar experiences. It's heartbreaking, but they've found some comfort in knowing they're not alone. A few days later, Ashley made it clear that her goal was to raise awareness, not to drag anyone's name through the mud. She stressed that her videos were about telling her story because it's hers to tell. This isn't about bashing my family, she said. It's about sharing what I've been through and helping others who've been silenced feel seen. For the first time in a long time, I feel free. She reiterated that her aunt was supportive at first but later changed her stance, blaming Ashley for what happened. For the past 16 years, her aunt has accused her of causing the inappropriate texts and even becoming physically involved with her uncle. As Ashley talked about this, she broke down in tears, clearly hurt by her aunt's reaction. She also hinted that the uncle had a platform but chose to stay silent. Despite everything, the family continued to interact with him as if nothing had happened, which made the situation even more painful for Ashley. In her second video, Ashley took a quick break to gather her thoughts before continuing her story. She explained how she's been working through the painful, suppressed memories in therapy for years. Even though it's been hard, Ashley made it clear that she still cares about the Braxton family, and discussing such a personal topic in public isn't something she takes lightly. What's especially heartbreaking is that in the video, she didn't talk about her late sister, but she did share that her sister's struggles with addiction, which led to her tragic overdose, were partly a result of Ashley's own trauma. Because of what happened between them, her sister's pain was even deeper. This situation is a tough one. The cycle of generational trauma is something a lot of people can't even begin to understand. When Ashley first opened up, many people were left wondering who might have been the most affected or involved. It's sad because honestly, it seemed like all the sisters were capable of these unhealthy patterns, but since then, Ashley has been leaving subtle hints in her videos, and viewers are really paying attention to every little clue. A while ago, some fans pointed out that Shelly's World had already hinted at some strange behavior from Tawanda's partner. It's making people think more deeply about the situation and putting all the pieces together. Everyone is watching closely as Ashley continues to share her truth. When Ashley started sharing her story, many people immediately thought she might be talking about Tamar, and honestly, it wouldn't be a huge surprise given Tamar's past relationship drama. Do you remember when Tamar shocked everyone by shutting down her social media accounts on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram? That happened after a big emotional meltdown. Just a day before going offline, Tamar posted some really heavy stuff on her X page, revealing how bad things had gotten with her family. In one of her deleted posts, Tamar wrote, "Why all have no idea, none. The gaslighting is crazy and I'm going back into treatment. OMG, I just pray that my marriage can be saved and my life can be spared. My life is awful." In another post, she said, "I'm so mad at my life. My family is toxic. I should have never gone back to BFV. It was clear she was in a lot of pain and needed help." And the issues seemed to stem from Tamar's relationship with Junior. Her family didn't understand why she kept going back to him, and that caused a lot of conflict. Then there was that messy drama with Tommy where Tommy exposed some very personal things after their breakup. It just added more chaos to an already difficult situation. Tamar's post really gave fans a glimpse into how tough things were for her, and it seemed like her personal life was spiraling out of control. The situation took another wild turn when Tommy Lee decided to speak up and share receipts to clear up any confusion. This all happened just a month before Tamar and Junior got back together. Tommy wasn't about to let people assume the worst without setting the record straight. On Instagram, she posted something that made it clear how frustrated she was. She said, "This is a sad situation, Tamar. I'm not afraid to say your name. I know my worth and I don't get involved in all that drama. People can twist the story however they want, but it's clear we're two strong black women letting people play games with us. It's time to tighten up, girl. I'm not your problem. The real issue is trusting the wrong people." Tommy wasn't holding back. She admitted, "Yes, we had our issues and things got messy, but once I saw how serious it was, I realized this whole thing was just too much." She finished with, "I'm at home with my man, laughing together, not worried about all this internet drama. He would never play me like that." Tommy was making one thing very clear: she wasn't about to let people misunderstand or twist the situation. She wanted the truth out there, and she wasn't here for anyone trying to play games with her or Tamar. Tamar had enough. For a long time, she defended Junior, but when the truth came out, she wasn't holding back anymore. The breaking point came when Tamar got a surprise charge on her credit card from the Four Seasons in New Orleans. She was confused because she hadn't been there, so she immediately called Junior to figure out what was going on. But when she asked him about it, he got defensive and rude, even telling her to take your meds. Tamar did some digging and found out that the reservation was under Mr. Jeremy Robinson and his guest, Miss J. That was a huge red flag, and Tamar was not about to let it slide. She jumped on Instagram to expose the whole situation. In a post, she shared a screenshot of a woman's Instagram profile implying that Miss J was the one Junior had been involved with. Tamar's caption was, "Blunt played in my face for a 25-year-old, took my jewelry, took me to Turks, and all along." It was clear Tamar was done. After everything she'd been through, defending him and trusting him, she wasn't going to stay quiet anymore. She wasn't just going to let the world think she was oblivious to what had really been going on. Tamar had been hurt, but now she was using her platform to set the record straight. All right, let's dive into this wild family drama that's got people talking. Tamar Braxton is no stranger to public emotional outbursts, especially when it comes to her love life. She's always been passionate, and let's be honest, she can sometimes be a bit much with her feelings. This is why so many people jumped to conclusions when Ashley Braxton started telling her story. Some even speculated that Ashley might have been talking about Tamar as the undisclosed aunt she mentioned in her TikTok video. It wouldn't be shocking, right? Tamar's past relationships have been filled with chaos, from her marriage to Vince to her more recent public dramas. But hold up, could Ashley actually be referring to someone else in the Braxton family? Some people now think the mystery aunt might be Trina and her ex-husband, Gabe. If you know Gabe, you know he's had some pretty questionable behavior, and Trina stayed with him for a long time despite all the red flags. It gets even more interesting when someone on Ashley's TikTok suggested this theory and Ashley liked the comment. Could that be a clue? One person even shared a shocking story about Gabe, claiming he tried to get involved with their 17-year-old transgender cousin. They said Gabe tried to fly them out to Atlanta and book a hotel near the airport, and when they tried to warn Trina, Gabe allegedly blocked them on social media. Yikes, that's enough to make anyone question what's really going on behind closed doors, and now people are starting to think that Ashley's story might be about Trina and Gabe all along. So as the layers of this family drama peel back, one thing is clear: the Braxton family has been through a lot. And with Ashley finally sharing her painful experiences, people are starting to understand the deep hurt she's been carrying for years. Whether it's Tamar, Trina, or someone else, it's a tangled mess, and everyone is just trying to make sense of it all. What do you think? Could Ashley's story be about Tamar, Trina, or someone else in the family? Let's talk about it. A lot of people are starting to think Ashley's story might be about Gabe and Trina, and honestly, when you look at it, it gets pretty disturbing. Trina knew exactly who Gabe was. He cheated on her all the time, but she stayed with him. People have pointed out that she seemed to ignore all the signs, even though Gabe was doing shady stuff like hooking up with both women and men and having some creepy obsessions with underage girls. It's been hard for some of us to understand why the family hated Gabe so much, especially when cheating was something most of their husbands did. So why was he the one they couldn't stand? Maybe, just maybe, it was because there was something even worse going on, something Ashley might finally be opening up about. Some people are even saying that this might be a way to create drama for the next season of the show. You know how reality TV works, all of a sudden, there's a new family secret or issue right before a season starts. We saw them use Kevin's story last year, so could this be what they're planning now? If it's true, that just proves how far reality TV can go for ratings, even if it means bringing up real family pain. But let's not forget about Evelyn, the matriarch of the Braxton family. She was the one in charge, the one who could have stepped in and helped fix things. Why didn't she? As the oldest, she had the power to make things right, but it looks like she didn't. So, what do you think? Is Ashley talking about Gabe and Trina, or is there someone else in the family we're missing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it.